After marrying the Manhattan monk, I just couldn't crack him. I told him, let's do a goodbye drinks night and call off this arranged merger. We ended up plastered. 2 months into the cooling off window, I morning sickness gagged right in front of the city clerk. I rushed to explain, I overdid it last night. He grabbed my wrist and marched me to Lennox. The baby doesn't want us to divorce. Me, is it the baby or is it him? Adrian is the celibate monk every uptown tongue wags about, loaded, powerful, gorgeous, yet allergic to earthly desire. No woman gets within arm's reach. If any female drifts too close, her family mysteriously implodes within days. That's why he's still single and why no Manhattan dynasty will offer a daughter. But my family went spectacularly bust. The only parachute was a sterling merger and the cash infusion that came with it. So I became the genuine Mrs. Sterling, and, surprise, I still live like a lone wolf. The one mercy, my mother-in-law adores me and bets on me. She cheers, Sam, Mom knows you've got this. But I'm almost at the end of my rope. The Manhattan monk is ice cold. I didn't skip the effort, I bombed again and again. After the latest strikeout, I finally quit. I demanded, do you honestly feel nothing for me? Adrian pressed his lips. Not nothing. That answer only muddied things. He paused. I can't name the feeling. I nodded, whatever. Knowing changes nothing now. I produced the bottles I'd brought and declared, goodbye drinks it is. This merger is over. He didn't refuse. I filled his glass to the brim. So much for the teetotaling monk. I kept tossing mine back. Do you loathe every woman who nears you? Do you even get how male-female feelings work? Haven't you ever had a crush? I flooded Adrian with questions. He just sipped in silence, never answering. Glass after glass until the room spun. I squinted at the man beside me. Razor brows, star-bright eyes, an ice prince stepped out of a comic. Doing nothing, he still radiated moneyed gravity you can't peel your eyes from. A monk this hot, what a cosmic waste. I stared, swaying toward him. The moment I tipped, a broad palm caught my waist and a low voice rumbled, Sophie, you're drunk. I slumped against him, slurring, Dylan, I'm totally sober. Then I fisted his tie. His Adam's apple bobbed, his chilled eyes darkened. Don't. Next second I brazenly wrapped myself around him. He laughed under his breath, the sound rough. His gaze pinned me, and while he hesitated I pushed reckless and close. Next morning I blinked awake to the magnified sculpture of his face. Blank seconds, then fragments of last night detonated in my brain. If he realizes I broke his vow, I'm toast. I pictured the horror stories about Adrian and shivered. I quietly rolled off the bed, grabbed essentials, and bolted. With his reach he'll find me, so I left a note, see you in 2 months. Before leaving I block-contacted him everywhere. 2 months should cool his rage. I used the time to land a job and chase my own success. Queens build their own empires. Yet even resolved to leave, I missed him. True to my word, the day the countdown hit 0 I pulled him out of the block. Turned out he'd been texting the whole time. The second he was free, messages exploded. Sophie, where the hell are you? Sophie, dare to face me and explain. Sophie, answer now. Reading the barrage stunned me. I thought I was expendable. My exit should have delighted him. Instead he'd hunted. I typed 3 question marks. Instant reply, finally tired of blocking me. I pressed my lips and cut to it, City Hall, tomorrow. The faster I bail, the safer I am. If he remembers who broke his vow, I'm dead. Next morning I dressed sharp and waited early outside the bureau. A black Maybach glided up. The door opened to that familiar, stern face. Seeing me, his stride quickened. Brow tight, he demanded, where have you been? I couldn't find you. Were you hiding? His words rattled me. He'd really searched. I curled my fingers, fighting the drift. Let's just finish this. We'd already toasted the end. His mouth set, he started to speak. My stomach lurched, then I yacked right in front of him. When the retching stopped, I froze. Come to think of it, my period's late. A terrifying thought flashed. If true, I haven't just wrecked his vow, I've given him an heir, and that's a death sentence. I blurted, last night got wild. He seized my wrist. You're probably pregnant. To keep my crimes from multiplying, I shook my head frantically. No, no way. Ignoring me, he hauled me straight to Lenox. At Lenox Hill, Adrian personally escorted me through every test. He wore a charcoal suit, face calm, and the way he moved effortlessly stirred my nerves. I ventured, honestly, "I'm fine, why don't you head back?" He frowned, laced his fingers through mine, and pulled me into the consultation room. "Doctor, is my wife pregnant?" My heart lurched. I stared at the doctor, cheeks burning with hope. The physician adjusted his glasses. "You are indeed pregnant." 5 simple words, and I felt the gavel fall on my life sentence. Outside the room, unchecked joy glowed on the man's face. Watching that first-time father elation, I felt dizzy. Is this the normal reaction? After a beat I spoke first. "Let's not let a tiny hiccup derail our timetable. We'll still go to City Hall." I tried to sound unruffled, but my steps floated. The moment I moved, a broad palm closed around my hand. I turned, questioning him with my eyes. "The baby doesn't want us to divorce." That single word also left me even more bewildered. Also, did he mean he doesn't want to let me go either? Under my puzzled stare he was utterly serious. "I'll take responsibility." Then he brushed my hair back gently. "Right now you need to stay calm, and I'll take care of you." His low voice slipped into my ear, his hand still gripping mine, thumb tracing the inside of my wrist. I gave a flustered grunt and tried to pull free. His tone suddenly hardened. "Don't move." Outside, a light rain had begun, traffic stretching the ride home into forever. He sat so close the faint sandalwood on his skin drifted into my breath. My gaze dropped to the delicate prayer bead bracelet on his wrist. On impulse I reached out and touched it. "Like it?" I studied the beads, mesmerized, then nodded like a headless fly at his question. At my answer he unclasped the bracelet without hesitation and pressed it into my palm. "It's yours." That left me even more at sea. Seeing me frozen, Adrian chuckled. Back home he settled me on the sofa, patting my head. "Sit tight, I'm cooking something good." The sandalwood scent lingered as he disappeared into the kitchen. Watching him go, I couldn't stop sliding my hand over my belly. Inside, a new life had taken root. Soon fragrant aromas drifted out. Maybe it was the pregnancy, but I ate far more than usual. After dinner Adrian cleared every plate himself, determined to spoil me rotten. I thought it was just a passing whim, but day after day nothing changed. Even when something scared me he'd soothe me first, coaxing with endless patience. The better he treated me, the more unreal it felt. Was this really the man the press called the monk? Now my bump curve grew daily. Feeling the baby stretch filled me with quiet happiness. One afternoon a crisis at Adrian's headquarters demanded him. Before leaving he warned me a dozen times. Rest, absolutely rest. Seeing him so anxious made me exasperated yet mostly deliriously happy. With Adrian gone I was bored. In my 7th month I couldn't gad about the city anymore. I rolled out my mat, did a short prenatal yoga flow, snacked on fruit, then collapsed on the sofa, ready to nap. The doorbell rang. I assumed it was Adrian. I hurried over, chiding, "Look at you, rushing out without your keys, didn't I say I was home alone?" The words jammed in my throat when I saw who stood there. Not Adrian, but Victoria née Langford. We'd met once at a wedding. Her haughtiness had left me cold. At the sight of her I frowned and instinctively shielded my belly. "What are you doing here?" Victoria stepped inside, gaze zeroing in on my bump, lips curving. "I heard you're pregnant, came to congratulate you." Without waiting she swept past me and settled on the couch like the lady of the house. "That bump looks well into the 2nd trimester." I answered politely, "Yes, mid-pregnancy." Victoria's smile sharpened. "Suddenly pregnant, must be thrilling. Now you can tie Adrian down with this baby." I gave her a slow, meaningful smile. I wasn't about to spar in my condition. "Everyone says Adrian's the Manhattan monk. From what I know he barely acknowledged you before the marriage, however did you manage to get pregnant?" Hostile intent confirmed. I drew a steady breath and delivered my eviction. "I'm far along and not up to entertaining. Why don't you come back once my husband's home?" Perhaps the word husband stung her. Victoria's face twisted. "Everyone calls Adrian the monk, but few know why. Don't you want the truth?" I frowned. "No, thank you. Please leave." Ignoring me, she plowed ahead. Since it's come to this, I don't mind telling you, he became that way because of me. I fell gravely ill. To speed my recovery, he vowed before Buddha to live as a monk. That's how the legend began. He would do that for me. Would he for you? We're the ones truly bonded. Even if he hovers around you now, it's only because of what's in your belly. Sometimes, Sophie, you need to know your place. Before the sentence finished, a low voice cut through like a blade. Have you said enough? Adrian stood in the doorway, face carved from ice. As he spoke, his long legs carried him straight to me. He stepped between Victoria and me like a shield, eyes cold. Say one more word and get out. His lips were a thin, harsh line, fury etched so deeply across his face I barely recognized him. In all the time I'd known him, I'd never seen Adrian this angry. Victoria bit her lower lip, unwilling to concede. Adrian, leave. Tears shimmered in her eyes, but she had no choice. With one last reluctant look she walked away. Only when she disappeared did I exhale. I glanced at the man beside me. What are you doing back so soon? His tone softened instantly. Work's done. I was worried about you, so I came home. Ever since that night, Adrian had been nothing but gentle with me. But Victoria's words still echoed, unsettling me. I curled my fingers tighter around my purse and voiced the question gnawing at me. Was what Victoria said true? She hadn't been entirely wrong. There had to be a reason the Manhattan gossip columns christened him the monk. The seconds before he answered stretched so taut I felt my pulse in my throat, cold sweat prickling my skin. Of course not. How could you believe something that ridiculous? Adrian chuckled, his large hand naturally finding my hair. He knew that unless he laid the story bare, it would sit like a splinter in my heart forever. His gaze turned serious. She chased me for years. I was sick of it, so I became the monk. Worked like a charm. A faint, smug smile tugged at the corner of his mouth as he said it. Watching him explain so earnestly, I let out a slow breath. That did sound exactly like him. With my mind lighter, I realized how long it had been since I'd gone shopping. Mid-pregnancy energy had finally returned. A stroll sounded perfect. I never expected my luck to be bad enough to run straight into Victoria again. The moment she saw me, she sauntered over, hips swaying, no intention of avoiding me. Well, if it isn't the poor woman who has her husband's body but not his heart. Her haughty smirk made me frown. Seems Adrian only threw you out yesterday, still wasn't enough to slap the smug off your face. Her expression froze. Listen, occupying the title of Mrs. Sterling doesn't actually mean anything. While she spoke, she flaunted her collection of shopping bags. You're merely a name on a marriage certificate. I gave her a calm smile. Really? I reached into my bag and drew out the black metal card Adrian had given me. If I'm only a name, then what do you call this? 3 of those Amex Centurion cards existed worldwide. Only one had been issued in Manhattan, and it was in my hand. Victoria's triumphant smile cracked. You actually. Seeing her barely contained rage delighted me. The princess of old money stomped her heel. Being Mrs. Sterling isn't easy. Don't assume Adrian's affection is enough, so what if he waited years for you? My smile died on my face. Adrian had waited years. For me? Realizing her slip, Victoria clapped a hand over her mouth, eyes wide. You mean you don't know? She spun away, clamping both hands over her lips as though she'd released a state secret. Her accidental revelation ricocheted inside my skull. Ignoring whatever else she tried to say, I abandoned the shopping trip and headed home, desperate for answers. Adrian had taken the day off. He sat on the living room sofa, laptop open, half his face bathed in afternoon light so blinding it made me blink. I walked straight up to him. I need to ask you something important. Seeing my urgency, he sighed, closed the laptop, and guided me onto the couch. Go ahead. I looked him dead in the eye. Victoria says you waited years for me. What does that mean? The instant the question landed, a vein throbbed at his temple. Who told you that? I didn't dodge. Victoria. The Langford and Sterling families had been friends for generations, and Victoria orbited Adrian like a moon. Her intel was rarely wrong. He frowned, then slipped a large hand around the small of my back. Don't overthink it. You two never get along, maybe she just made it up. I knew Adrian. Once he brushed something off, the topic was closed. Yet I couldn't dismiss Victoria's slip. A stubborn need to win this stare-down took hold. We haven't had a drink together in ages. His eyes narrowed. You can't, in your condition. I grinned. I can't, but you can. He barked out a laugh, defeated. Fine. He stroked my hair. The wife gives an order, what choice do I have? I retrieved my private stash. My real plan, get him tipsy and pry the truth free. In vino veritas, a drunk man can't guard every secret. Bottle after bottle appeared. Adrian raised an eyebrow. Planning to get me drunk, Mrs. Sterling? I curved my lips. Problem with that. His answering smile was indulgent. Bring it on. I poured. He drank every single glass. Glass after glass. Minutes crawled past, yet Adrian showed no sign of intoxication. 2 faint flares of red colored his sharp cheekbones, and that was it. My collection was nearly gone. Was this man even human? If he could hold his liquor this well, what did that say about the night we'd conceived the baby? Had that been real emotion, not alcohol? Before I could chase the thought, his words started flowing faster, even if he wasn't truly drunk. Sophie, why do Victoria's words matter so much? Don't tell me you're nursing the same designs on me that she is. Sometimes I can't read you at all. You act like you're here only for the arranged merger, then you look at me like you actually care. Which version of you is the real one? You're carrying my child, nothing's ever made me happier. I swear I'll take care of both of you for the rest of our lives. Watching him talk, I let a slow, satisfied smile bloom across my face. You've asked me so many questions, I said, moving closer to him. Now I want to ask you one, do you like me? He only looked at me in silence, his lips sealed tight. Then, as if handling a pufferfish, he lifted a long finger and gently pinched my cheeks. His voice was low and rough. Try asking one more time. Remembering how my entire stash had been drunk by him without a single secret slipping out made my stomach burn. Challenged, I shot back. What's wrong with a wife asking her husband a question? Adrian's eyes turned suddenly dark. He exhaled, no longer looking at me, and walked straight into the bathroom. I felt dazed again. The Manhattan monk. The devoted man. Which one was real? Listening to the sound of the water, as restless as he was, I felt anything but calm. I sat for a moment longer, then couldn't help pacing. That was when my gaze landed on the phone he'd left on the desk. Maybe his secrets were inside. I knew it was wrong to look through someone else's phone, but my hand moved as if under a spell. The lock screen asked for a passcode. On a whim I typed his birthday. Wrong. Throwing caution aside, I entered mine. It opened. I drew a sharp breath and tapped into his iMessage. The pin at top contact was me. Beyond a few family and friends, every other thread was work. My fingers moved by themselves, opening our chat and scrolling up. Only then did I discover that during the weeks I'd blocked contact, he had kept sending messages, pouring out how much he missed me. Sophie, I miss you so damn much, where on earth did you go? Sophie, please don't leave me. I can't imagine what I'll become without you. Sophie, just tell me where you are. I'll come to you. Or if you don't want me bothering you, what am I supposed to do? Reading those lines he'd written while I'd blocked him, I went numb. I was about to scroll farther when a pair of hands appeared from nowhere and snatched the phone away. My palms empty, I stared at the man who'd finished his cold shower, droplets still clinging to his cropped hair. He frowned slightly. You went through my phone? I pressed my lips together. Got something to hide? Adrian arched a brow. Of course not. At his denial I let out a heavy breath. But I already saw. I'd seen how, while I'd blocked him, he'd still longed for me. As the Manhattan monk, you only agreed to our arranged marriage merger under pressure, so why, after I left, did you send those messages? It felt like you'd liked me for a very long time. I curled my fingers, eyes steady on his. When exactly did you fall for me? Something deeper stirred in his gaze. I thought I'd hidden it well, but you found out anyway. Victoria's words, the weeks I'd blocked him, everything that happened afterward, looking back, none of it made sense. Actually, we were a couple once, head over heels in love. 5 years ago you crashed your car and lost your memory, you forgot me completely. That's why I turned myself into the celibate monk everyone in Manhattan talks about. 5 years ago. I was still in college. I did wreck a car then. I spent 2 months in the hospital. But, amnesia, reading my doubt, he held my gaze, a rueful smile tugging at his lips. Selective amnesia, you remembered everyone, just not me. His stare was gentlemanly, yet it burned as if ready to flay me alive. That scorching look felt hauntingly familiar, a flash so quick it might have been illusion, yet unmistakably real. He opened the phone again. His gallery held dozens of photos of us I'd never seen. Back then we were inseparable, every shot screaming honeymoon phase intimacy. He walked me through each memory. It felt foreign. I recalled nothing. Yet a quiet warmth spread inside me, and as he spoke I tasted an inexplicable happiness. Watching him recount our past with such care, I felt lost. So I was the one who'd held him back. Guiltily I cleared my throat. Then why didn't you tell me from the start? Everyone said, don't jolt her. So they all helped me stage the arranged marriage merger you later saw. His answer made me suck in a breath. That indifference you showed at first, it was to keep from triggering me. Yes. The confirmation stung my eyes. The aloof man at the top had been loving me in his own way all along. After laying everything bare, Adrian worried the truth might shock my memory and bring harm, but in the days that followed I showed no ill effects. From then on he devoted himself to me, sometimes taking me back to our campus, retracing every step of our love. Whenever he described those moments he'd watch me hopefully. Remember? This is where we first held hands. You wore a white sundress that day, utterly breathtaking. This is the food truck block we hit on our first date. You were so happy we kept buying snacks. While eating takoyaki you dripped sauce on the sweater you loved. This used to be our secret spot, you said it belonged only to us. As I listened, warmth flickered inside, but the pictures never came. I shook my head, despondent. Each time, he would stroke my hair, soothing me. It's okay, really. What matters is we're together now. Seeing the hope in his eyes while he forced calm for my sake broke my heart, and I'd bury myself in his chest. Even though I still haven't remembered the things he told me about, I feel as if my heart has fallen in love with him all over again. In a way, doesn't that count as a happy ending too? While he was hauling baby boutique hauls for me and the baby, arms sagging with bags yet radiant with joy, I stopped short in front of him. I actually think it's okay if I never remember our past, I said. He blinked, hid the flicker of disappointment in his eyes, then nodded with infinite tenderness. I went on. We still have the future even if I've forgotten the before. I can't recall exactly how we fell in love back then, but I can clearly see how we love each other now. When he heard my heartfelt confession, the man in front of me froze for several seconds. Then I swear I saw a faint red rim his deep black eyes. His lips parted slightly. Sophie, I love you, not just loved you, not just love you now, but will keep loving you forever. Listening to his declaration, I couldn't help burying myself in his arms. Once we were sure of us, I suggested to Adrian, we haven't been home in ages, let's go see Mom and Dad. He hesitated a beat, then gave that same doting nod. The Sterling mansion is a standalone estate. The moment we stepped inside, Eleanor was personally wielding a spatula in the kitchen while the housekeeper hovered uselessly nearby. Seeing us, she clasped my hand warmly. Sophie, you're finally here. I cooked a few dishes myself, you have to taste them later. Eleanor's affection for me was as fierce as ever. His father was perched on the sofa, brewing tea for us himself. I chatted effortlessly with both of them, while Adrian sat to the side looking like the outsider in his own family. After dinner his mother pulled me aside, beaming. I always knew you were the one who could drag him out of that monk phase. Her secretive air left me momentarily blank. So she had no idea why he had turned into that back then. Well, we'd never actually met each other's parents while we were dating. If this brat ever makes you unhappy, call me right away, I'll rush over and deal with him myself. I'm so happy. Now I can just sit back and wait to hold my grandbaby. From the day we married, Adrian's family had treated me like gold, and I was genuinely grateful. I squeezed her hand in return. Mom, Adrian, and I will be dropping by all the time from now on, maybe even with your little grandchild in tow. At that, Eleanor grinned from ear to ear. Wonderful, wonderful, come bother us whenever you like. A few months later, right on her due date, Our unbelievably punctual baby made her move. The moment the contractions hit that evening, we headed to Lenox Hill, and I was wheeled straight into the delivery suite. Afraid I'd be scared alone, Adrian insisted on staying with me. I was terrified, but the thought of meeting our child filled me with anticipation. Inhale, push, exhale. She's hemorrhaging, prep for possible emergency. The instant the doctor spoke those grave words, the man clutching my hand, heart in his throat, panicked. It was the first time I'd ever seen such alarm on his face. Save my wife. No matter what, keep her safe. If it takes a life for a life, take mine instead. The doctor's warning had frightened me, yet his solemn vow sweetened my heart. I forced myself to stay calm and breathe. Don't be afraid, we'll both be fine. Because complications persisted, the team finally decided to switch from natural delivery to a C-section. When they wheeled me out, I managed a smile to soothe his anxiety. Don't worry, the baby and I will come through okay. Under the anesthesia, I drifted into a long, long dream. In it, Adrian and I were the campus sweethearts everyone envied. Everything he had ever told me replayed itself, so vivid, so blissful. Just as he'd said, we cherished each other and grew together, studying in the library, wandering the shops, sharing cafeteria meals, surprising each other with gifts. When I came to, the sharp tang of antiseptic filled my nose. White ceiling tiles swam into focus. At the same instant, warmth encircled my palm. Sophie. I turned my head. The man beside me looked haggard yet handsome, stubble shading his jaw, faint bruises beneath his eyes, proof of sleepless vigil. The moment my eyes opened, one worry leapt out. Where's the baby? He chuckled softly. Relax, she's perfectly healthy, a tiny princess as beautiful as you. I exhaled in relief, then gazed at him and blurted, I remember. All those memories of us, I think they've come back. Delight flashed across his eyes, and a smile curved his lips. Remembering is the cherry on top, but even if you didn't, we're still happy now. I nodded. Ham, I love you, Sophie. I love you too, Adrian. Our story took a few twists along the way, but thankfully the ending is perfect. Thanks for listening today. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this tale? If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more wonderful stories. See you next time.